morning, Nick. It's been a while since we've had a chance to talk. Lots of things have been happening for you folks. And I kind of want to jump right into it. We're going to be talking a lot about different things that are happening for the sewer, for the water, for electric. Some congratulations in multiple places, I guess. But one of the things I was curious about was, has there been any reorganization, for instance, between the water and electric commissioners that folks would be interested in?
Sure. And thanks, Kirby. Thanks for having us again. Always love spending time together and updating the public on our projects. And we did. Yeah, our board did reorganize this. I think that the last meeting or the one before that. And our new chair is Dick Taylor. It's been a while since he's been chair, and replaced Ivan Pegasic. We have an incredible board here, so it's great to work with whoever they put in the chair role. And Scott Larson will be the vice chair. And both Dick and Scott both are past employees, so they have intimate knowledge of everything that we do in the community that we serve. They grew up in the community. Going to be great to have them in that leadership role. And actually, Dick Taylor will be recognized in August at the Northeast Public Power Association's annual meeting for his role as a commissioner. He's receiving the prestigious Commissioner's Award from NEPA. This is his fourth term as commissioner and has been a great asset to the community. So it's great that he got recognized by the association.
So let's shift into the ground. A lot has happened since the thaw has kind of broken. We're now into the hot and heat of the summer. Lots of projects that are happening on the roadways. Give us an update, Nick, on what's happening with the sewer, the collection system, and any expansions that you're working on at the moment.
Sure. And I think everyone's aware of all the work since we're doing it right in the middle of our community. But Rivoli is back. They came back, I don't remember, it was right around April. I think they were back in town. And they're working where they left, they continue to work where they left off last year, which is right at the common. And they are moving through the common right now. They're about at Il Forno's, going down King Street to the Westford line. And they're right about Meeting House, going down Great Road towards the Acton line. Deep excavation, manholes, 18-inch pipe, water main as well. So it's going slow because of that, because of the deep excavations, and it takes time to set manholes. That same company is also working during the break in the school year at both pump stations. So there's a large pump station at the Russell Street Middle School, and they're working there to upgrade that facility to be able to handle the new flows. And there'll be a pump station at the high school where the plant is. There'll be a pump station now that just pumps the high school waste to the new plant at 242 King Street. So I'm hoping they're done early late fall, sometime in the fall. I'm hoping early, but it'll probably be late.
So how is the new Indian Hill property being tied into that, Nick? I was just curious.
It's not. They're not in the district.
Okay.
They have a very good functioning septic system. If that was to fail, they're downhill of the pump station, but you could pump from Indian Hill to the high school pump station to be able to take care of that facility.
So it wasn't long ago you guys hosted another public forum down at the police station. There were a lot of good questions that came out. I was just curious if you had any status updates on some of the things that were brought up by residents.
Yeah, I think that was our 7th or 8th forum. And again, thanks to LCTV for helping us with that. We don't get a huge turnout, but we get a very involved turnout, which is good. People that come are engaged, they're active, and they ask questions. And it's typically revolving around the schedule, the capacity, and obviously the impacts to their daily lives in the roads. And there was a list from one of the residents of a few spots that weren't that either were sinking a little bit or paving wasn't done right. And we have addressed those spots. And we continue to express to the residents that we want that feedback. You know, they're on the roads. They'll see things maybe we won't see all the time. And if there's areas that are unsatisfactory, please let us know. We can discuss that with the contractor.
I've already made comments, Nick, that as you're putting in your septic, you're also replacing, adding where appropriate water mains. And I think the folks in Boxborough in particular are going to be very interested in this piece, which is the extension to Boxborough to help them with the salt and PFAS contamination they have on the west portion of the Boxborough. Can you really quickly summarize what happens? And I understand that the well that's down behind Amazon warehouse actually has been properly named.
Yeah, it's now the Trumbull well. Our board wanted to recognize Commissioner Bruce Trumbull, who served in our board for over 2 decades and was really an instrumental voice when it came to both water and wastewater. It was something that he did in his daily life. He is the owner of Small Water Systems right out of Littleton. So very familiar with that industry and a huge asset for this community for over 20 years. So the board wanted to recognize his contributions, and they thought that'd be a good way of doing it, and I couldn't agree more. As far as the project goes, it's a complicated project because of the well. The well requires a withdrawal permit from DEP. So it's been a long year of just going through the permitting steps and processes to make sure there's no negative impacts on the environment, no negative impacts to wildlife, both locally through the state. And Corey Godfrey, who you all know, and Matt Silverman have been working on that hand in hand, and almost done and through that process. It should be good. We should be advertising bid for that project, and similar to the sewer project, that will be in two different contracts, one for the well, one for the water main work. But we're thinking mid-August that will be out to bid. We're getting close. We do have some deadlines and timelines because this was funded through the DEP state revolving fund, which was great because that was one of the benefits to the Littleton residents, because that got us a 0% loan. And there's also external funds, grant funds coming into this project. So there are some timelines and some deadlines that we have to meet. So we've been working very closely with DEP on those timelines. So it should be soon that that's out to bid.
Okay. Okay. Are there any plans to communicate from Corey or from Matt to the Boxborough residents about status beyond what we're doing right now, Nick?
What do you mean?
I don't know whether it's a forum or a status update. It would not be bad to just let people know that it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
More of a question.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, Corey and Matt are updating because there's really just a small impacted area that are getting the water service. And they've been in communications with them. We've been in communications with the town of Boxborough. It's been in our Watson's drops, but it might be worth having a forum for the whole community, because the community at large for Boxborough probably is not knowledgeable what's going on. So we can do that.
Yeah, because I was thinking, you had mentioned to me when we were talking about this particular conversation with the GM is bringing in Corey possibly the next go around. So that might fit well into that episode as well.
Yep.
Okay. We just want to circle back a little bit. There's this little thing that I see every day I go over the bridge that we didn't talk about, the treatment plant.
Yeah. I think they spent about a year digging a hole and pouring concrete, which is a deep excavation. It was 30 feet. They were dealing with dewatering of that site because of obviously the proximity to the brook. They're just about done in the ground and starting to now elevate up, and we'll start doing some of the above ground work, which is great. That there's still quite a bit of work there. That will be the last piece of the project that gets finished. Right now the schedule says June of 25, but we're thinking just with the way some of these projects go with supply chain issues, that'll be later than that. But that's the date that we have right now, and there have been no delays to this point, so maybe they hit it. But we know as you get closer, these things get a little bit more easier to predict. But yeah, project's going well.
let's shift now to something a little bit more shocking, like electrical group. And I hear there's some reliability projects that you've got underway or will be getting underway soon. So can you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, really. I mean, this goes back to the ice storm in 2008. The electric department's been extremely focused on reliability driven projects. And they continually get recognized nationally for these efforts. One of the most reliable systems in the country is right here in Littleton. It's really because of the work that the guys do and the staff identifies projects that need to be done. And if you remember that ice storm in 2008, one of the large impacted area was our lake area, Long Lake area. And we've been replacing poles and installing insulated wire, which we refer to as tree wire, because the tree can sit on it and not trip the wire, not trip the circuit off. And we just about wrapped up that area after 15 years of work, where every road has an insulated wire on it now. The poles have been upgraded, so now we can start moving through different parts of the town and install that type of infrastructure. And we've been in Boxborough quite a bit. We've been down Mass Ave, going towards the skating rink. That was all bare conductor. That's now the bundled insulated cable that you see throughout our territory. We've been doing pole replacements. We typically do about 100 poles a year of new poles in the ground, which we got about 40 or 60 already done this year. Fiber grant, Dave Ketchin is unbelievable getting fiber grants. And he just got his second $250,000 fiber grant for the town of Littleton, and he works hand in hand with Nancy Glencross from the town side on that to identify areas that we could either expand our fiber infrastructure, because the other thing that Nancy and Dave are good at is utilizing the fiber, so you quickly run out of capacity there, and they've been great at identifying adding to that redundancy and trying to separate really. When fiber first came out, we kind of threw everything on the same network, and with the cybersecurity risks that are out there today, especially on the electric and water side, they're trying to segregate and separate as best they can, which is, I think, going to help all of us in the long run. They're really forward-thinking individuals when it comes to cybersecurity, so that's great. EV charging, we worked with Parks and Rec on a new level 2 charger at Castle in the Trees. So that should be coming online shortly, maybe end of this month. And we worked very closely with Mark Hollinger, who got a grant through the state to put a level 3 charger at the municipal lot next to Common Convenience right downtown. I think you've probably seen our crews out there working with Common Convenience behind his building to get that electrical infrastructure into there. And that should be, I would say, end of September, that hopefully will be operational.
So can you quickly explain what the difference between a level 2 and a level 3 is, Nick?
Speed.
Just speed as far as how long it's charge?
Yeah. So level 3. Yeah, level 3. We have one level 3 charger. It's at our facility, 39 Ann Road, at the Light and Water Department. That could charge a car in maybe 30 minutes. Compared to a level 2 charge is going to take 6 hours. That all depends on what type of car you have, but roughly that's what we're talking about. Level 2 are meant more for long-term stays and long-term charging, or level 3 is what's really needed to support the EV push out over the next couple decades.
So level 2 is normally what you install or what is required on building codes for homes?
So the new building code requires that your home is level 2 ready, right? So you got to bring a circuit to your garage, I believe. So that way, if you were to get an EV and you were to get a level 2 charger, it's ready for that type of connection. Correct.
Yeah, I was amazed when I took my last CSL training, the amount that's in for electrification of a house to get it ready for solar, get it ready for cars. Folks are really paying attention to that these days.
Yep.
All right. So I guess there's some congratulations there down in your neck of the woods because of all the fine work you've been doing. particularly for someone who's been with you for quite a few years.
Yeah, we recently had the retirement of Dave Lazat, who's now making me start to feel old because I wasn't too long after Dave. Maybe I think he had 27 years with the light department. He was with the highway first, over 3 decades with the town. Incredible employee to have. So we were able to honor him last month for his service to the community. Started off as a line worker with us and worked his way up to general line foreman, and followed in the footsteps of Scott Larson. Having 2 local line foremen it's important to us because it's really boots on the ground and knowing the community and being able to drive a culture through the shop that is really second to none. We're fortunate we were able to identify Dave's replacement, Rob Hunt. Another Littleton individual stepped up and took on that role. And Robbie's been with us for 20 years and incredible employee as well. And RJ Rooks will be the working foreman, another Littleton born and raised individual to kind of follow Robbie's footsteps. So congratulations to Dave, but we're in good hands with the employees that we have. Thanks to Dave, making sure that that succession planning was put into place.
So there's one more recognition, I guess. I just read about it in Watson Drops Mag. It had to do with this guy named Nick Lawler being appointed to a certain lofty position within the electrical industry, I believe.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, John. Why don't you tell us about that, Nick? Because it seemed like a rather prodigious award that you received. Plus, it seems to me like a lot more work.
Yeah. So the American Public Power Association is a national association that we're part of. We're one of 1,500 or so members of that association. I was fortunate enough to be elected to the board back in 2019 and just really was able to meet and work with some great people across the country, the right people that were similar mindset to me, and I was able to ascend to the chair of that board. But it's really just good opportunity, right people, right time, and it's a great honor for Littleton. We've been the connection's been great for us. We've been able to get a lot of federal funds into here because of it. We're piloting a OT sensor for cybersecurity awareness through APPA. Just opportunities like that through our connections with the association will benefit all of our ratepayers and our employees in our departments moving forward. But it's an honor to be able to take on that role, and we have great staff here. So as I'm out advocating for us on the national level, I know our staff here will be doing what they can to support the community.
We are very appreciative of you and the team that you've built and the community mindedness that your team has. Thank you very much for the status updates, Nick. Congratulations to your fine team. We look forward to a conversation with Corey in the future to learn a little bit more about the water project and extension into Boxborough. But again, thank you for stepping up and leading that group as the chair. Any other final thoughts you want to throw at us, sir?
No, as always, I appreciate your time.
We thank you for your time.